Now for the quote that really ticked me off this weekend. Darren Dreger, I've called him a national hockey insider. He's really an international hockey insider. He's one of the biggest insiders in the sport. He works for TSN in Canada. He said that Crosby, who just passed Bobby Hull and Gordie Howe for milestones this weekend, should request a trade out of Pittsburgh this offseason, quote, for the greater good of the league, end quote. Yeah, I'm sure that's why Crosby would have won out. For the greater good of the league. That kind of stuff drives me nuts. Like, Crosby used to get admonished whenever he would miss all-star games. You owe it to the league. Well, what has the league done for Sidney Crosby?
Yeah.
Like, I asked that honestly. Like, when Crosby's getting his head bashed in the Rangers series by Jacob Trouba a couple of years ago, when he's getting slashed by Ovechkin and cross-checked in the back of the head by Matt Niskanen, when guys like Tom Wilson made runs at him. I mean, it goes back over the course of his career. Darian Hatcher, all these guys that have attacked Crosby in a league that doesn't protect its stars. Why does Crosby owe the league anything? Oh, yeah, go to the Avalanche so you're playing more prominent games to juice TV ratings. No, F that. If Crosby would, and he won't, but if Crosby did want out for personal reasons, because he wants to chase a championship, because he doesn't want to spend the last years of his career on, like, the X-Generation Penguins, fair enough, I get that. But for the good of the league, shut the hell up, Darren Dreger.
Yeah, I mean, he's basically saying what? So we could put him, on a good team and showcase him more, or because he's the face of the league? Like, I'm kind of confused by for the good of the league. Like, what is Crosby requesting a trade from one of the best franchises in sports do for the league?
It actually makes the Penguins obviously more watchable. And so you can put a not great team on national TV and people, in theory, would still be interested, right? Because they've got Sidney Crosby.
Right.
What, so you want him to be on a playoff team?
Yeah, I don't.
Come on. Crosby owes the league nothing.
Zero.
The league actually owes him a ton. Both he and Alexander Ovechkin were the princes that were promised, and you know what they did? They made good on that.
Yeah, they promised.
That doesn't always happen. It just doesn't. And I realize, like, a guy like Nail Yakupov will go into the Wayback Machine. He was picked number 1 overall by the Oilers, and he wasn't the prospect that Crosby and Ovechkin or Malkin were. But he goes number 1 overall, and he had a crappy NHL career. Sidney Crosby was supposed to be the next one, and he could, as we discussed earlier, wind up catching Jágr for second all-time in points. Ovechkin was supposed to be the next one, and he's going to catch Wayne Gretzky. Like, the league owes them a ton. Mm-hmm. Going through 2 damn lockouts with these guys. Not one, 2. 2. And I think the league's in a pretty good position right now, evidenced by the cap's going to go up $30 million the next 2 years. Like, the league's in a healthy spot because of these guys. They owe the league nothing. The league owes both players a big debt of gratitude.
Well, how did it go down with Gretzky whenever he got traded? Like, obviously, I don't remember back in the day. Like, how did that situation go down? Maybe he's trying to relate to that situation of how Gretzky went to a different team and
he'll go to L.A. He'll
right.
go to New York. These big markets.
Right.
Oh, we're selling the game. Crosby took Pittsburgh for 20 years and made them so desirable that now that they stink, they're still on national television.
Right.
Like that's what I say back to Darren Dreger. Like, Crosby elevated a franchise that was on the precipice of moving to, like, Kansas City, and he made them appointment viewing for 2 decades. So everything that the league needed to get out of Sidney Crosby, it did. So let him have his farewell tour here in Pittsburgh. You jabroni.